Well, I think it was the most dramatic moment of the day, certainly. It really started to crystallize what the defense is about. They're really trying to portray her as a sex slave. Now, I think it's closer to a prisoner of love in that she's doing this because she loves him rather than being shackled and made to do it. But that's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say she had no will in this matter, that she was under his spell, under his control. As I say, I think it's closer to a prisoner of love than a sex slave, but I must tell you, I think it was very effective yesterday.
You think that's the most damning stuff against him so far, Jeff?
You know, yeah, I mean, it's all leading to what we thought would be the testimony today if the judge wasn't sick, which was what happened on the night of the killing. Was it a murder? Was it in self-defense? What was it about? My guess is that you were right the other day when you speculated that we're going to hear something about the picture of the little boy and him masturbating and things that would make him so angry that he would attack her. That's where this is leading to. But yesterday was very clear, I think crystal clear, that she was doing anything he wanted. I mean, you know, one of those, that part of that quote was, "You will feel like you are raped, but will enjoy it. Rejoice in being a whore." I mean, gee, and this girl is sticking around for it. So if she's not just, you know, an nymphomaniac, then she really is under his spell. And that's what the defense is trying to say, under his control.
You know, again, and we don't know how the jury's processing that. I mean, we can talk about how we might be processing it, but bottom line, he does not look good in that sense. But to your point, we're still not even at the point where she's killed him. She's admitted to that. Is it self-defense or not? That's what we're trying to get to. Jeff, hang tight. We're going to continue our coverage again of the Jodi Arias death penalty murder trial, and we've got this. You got to stick around for it. In the days before and after she killed Travis Alexander, Jodi Arias goes on this nearly 3,000-mile road trip. Prosecutors argue she did this. She's already planned she's going to kill the guy. Defense saying no. Again, it's self-defense. So we're going to take you on the journey as Jodi Arias goes to confront and ultimately kill Travis Alexander.
Hey, did you know Honey Nut Cheerios has oats that can help lower cholesterol?
And it tastes good?
At this point, but you can see right there, she's a pretty good liar. Let's bring back Jeff Gold real quick to comment on that. You know, you see her again in these Inside Edition interviews. She's telling that lie straight up. He was attacked. I don't even know how to shoot a gun.
Right. Well, she's going to have to deal with those on cross-examination. We got a little preview of the tone that Juan Martinez is going to use with her, which is that she's a liar and a murderer. And he's not going to treat her with kid gloves, I don't think.
Yeah.
You know, there are some elements that I think he will need to deal with softly. I don't know whether he will, but I think he should. But there are many, many other elements that you're just making the point to the jury that she's a liar and a murderer.
There you go. Well, let's watch. You mentioned it. You and I have talked about it, and we caught a glimpse yesterday. This is the prosecutor, Juan Martinez, questioning Jodi Arias. And number one, as you watch this, watch her body language change. She's not connecting with the jury all softy. She is on edge, knowing she's up against this prosecutor. Let's watch it, Jeff.
With regard to this, it says subject forwarding our friendship, correct?
That's correct.
And it does say that it's from you, right?
Yes.
And it does give a date, doesn't it?
Yes.
And it does say that it's to Travis Alexander, doesn't it?
The forwarded email is.
No, it doesn't say that. It says to, doesn't it?
Objection, Your Honor. This is beyond voir dire the witness. This is cross-examination. He can wait his turn.
Overruled.
Take a look at Exhibit 438 and see who the to line is to.
To travis.alexander@gmail.com.
So this isn't, and there's underneath there a BCC. Do you know what that stands for?
Blind carbon copy.
You just told us, ma'am, that this was composed at Mr. Alexander's behest, right?
Yes.
And that you sent it to Mr. Abdelhadi, right?
Yes.
And that you sent a copy to Mr. Alexander, right?
Afterward, yes.
You didn't do it at the same time? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Ma'am, isn't it true that what happened is that you actually took this email?
Again, Your Honor, I'm going to object. If he wants to say this for cross-examination, But the foundation for this exhibit has been laid, and we move for its admission. She's already explained.
Counsel
before.
approach. Counsel approach.
All right, Jeff, let's get your take on that. Is that what we're going to see a lot of when Martinez takes over with cross-examination?
Yes, and I want you to notice how now, when she's talking to Juan Martinez, she's looking at Juan Martinez as opposed to the softball questions on direct examination by Kurt Nurmi, where she then looks at the jury and begins to have a rapport with the jury, which she's done for day after day. She's going to need to pay attention to his questions. She's going to end up looking at him and answering him, and that's how the prosecutor is going to start to rip her away from the rapport that she may have developed with some jurors, that has carefully been developed. He's going to bring her back to reality, so to speak.
How do you think she did there? Think she held her own, at least in that brief exchange?
Yeah, I mean, it's not enough. I mean, that's not enough to tell us. I think what I get out of it is the tone, Juan's tone. And the tone is the gloves are off.
Yep, you better believe it. And do you think that she's going to play off of that? Look at me. He's beating up on me like Travis did.
Well, that's what makes it interesting. I mean, we have never seen, you know, an examination and a cross-examination of a defendant in such a high-profile case, really. It's new to us. That's why it's so interesting to the public. It's dynamic. We don't know what's going to happen. I say to the viewers, tune in. I don't know how it's going to go, but that's a little bit of a preview.
You better believe it. Okay, we're going to continue our coverage. Jodi Arias death penalty murder trial with Jeff.
Well, I think they've done a great job, but they are at risk of overdoing it. And there have been a couple of things recently. 2 days ago, when that sex tape was played, you know, Jodi had her hair over her face and looked down the whole time, and that effect I thought was over the top, too much. And I think by yesterday already, we were stuck in gear, going over the same time period. You know, we've heard the three-hole wonder 3 or 4 times already. It seemed to me that they were stalling so that today, assuming the judge wasn't sick, would be their day. And then the jury would have the long weekend to sit and think about the defense, you know, side of it, that her direct. And I think they were stalling. So I think they're at risk if they keep pushing this much further. They need to get to the murder. They need to explain the murder. They've done a good job, but you can do too much, and they're in danger of that.
Interesting. Hey, let's play. This is a different tone here. Here's Jodi Arias talking about after fights, they would, quote unquote, de-stress, and they'd have sex after these arguments. So let's listen and let's watch her demeanor as she's telling this side of the story.
Travis had this cute little term called de-stressing, and I thought that was interesting. So it's something we began to, it was like a code word in our relationship. So when he was stressed out, his way to de-stress would be sex. So arguments were stressful, and that was a good way to blow off steam and feel better afterward.
By sex, are we including oral sex, anal sex, or vaginal sex? Is that what?
Yeah, all of the above.
What do you make of that, Jeff? I mean, could that cut both ways, or is that more good points for the defense?
She loves this guy. She loves every little thing, you know. She's moony almost. If you listen to that sex tape, what you got from the part that wasn't about sex was how moony she was. She was giggly, and everything he said, he was kind of falling asleep, and she's still giggly and happy because every moment of attention that this guy showed her, she was so happy and elated. I think the truth of the matter, what the heck happened on the day of the murder?
Yeah, exactly.
The day of the killing, we don't know. But up to that point, she's moony. She loves him. We know that. That seems to be the truth of it.
Yeah, that I thought that was almost more effective than the salacious sex stuff. To listen to her, like, just fawn over everything he said,
right.
You know, almost more effective. Anyway, we can take a quick break. More with Jeff, more analysis of the Jodi Arias trial coming up in just a little bit. Back with us to talk about it, our attorney, Jeff Gold. And Jeff, one of the big moments yesterday, I think, happened early on in the day And this harkens back to the day before where Jodi Arias has talked about Travis Alexander. She walks in allegedly on Travis Alexander looking at pictures of little boys. So she gets an opportunity to say it again and use the term pedophile and child porn. Let's listen. We'll get your take coming out on how powerful that could be to a jury.
He's waking me up in the middle of the night with a whole bunch of text messages. They're all unkind. He's threatening me. I just felt like he was being a complete bully at that point, and I was tired of being bullied. So I called him up and I said, after he said time to spit it out, and he just felt like he was trying to reach through the phone and still exert control over me, and I'm at my sister's house and I'm sleeping, so I think I just got fed up, and I called up and I said,
What'd you say?
it was really mean. I said, the only thing I'm going to be spitting out is the fact that you're a pedophile with a past, and something like that. And I was saying, I don't know. At the time, I characterized what I saw as child pornography, but I realized it wasn't child pornography. It was just a picture of a young boy. So I think I said something to that effect, and he got very quiet.
Jeff, is that kind of looping arguments there, but just the defense doing it through Jodi Arias? We've mentioned child porn. Here it comes again as she says pedophile.
Sure. I mean, and it's going to end up being on the day of the killing. I mean, that's where this is going. You know, there was that picture that Travis took of her on the bed naked the day of the murder, and I didn't notice this originally because there's a lot of other things to notice in that picture of a naked woman, but she's got pigtails. And she's been telling the story of how even he had the fantasy of her being, of course, a 12-year-old child, a 12-year-old girl. So this is on the day of the murder, he's taking pictures of her, and she's got pigtails. So this is where we're going. Of course, it's looping arguments, and that's what the defense wants to do to get to the point of the murder. I found on reflection, looking at that picture again after hearing the testimony, that that it was very significant for the defense. We thought it was only for the state who put it in, but I think the defense is going to use that picture.
Interesting. That's a very plausible theory that, okay, she's got the pigtails going. Maybe she says something about child, pedophile, uses it again, and he snaps. That's what we could hear from the defense. Interesting stuff. We're back with Jeff. Joey Jackson's going to join us as well as we continue to dissect this incredible case. Also we're keeping you updated on that. But come on, it's been the trip from hell for those folks on that Triumph Carnival cruise ship, and they're hoping to get back